this is my review of My Hero Academia. Okay, so in this episode, the students all move into dorm rooms, as the title of the episode suggests. And this episode is actually interesting because we get to see how all the people in Class 1A live. With two exceptions, but I'll get into those when I get to them. So after all the parents were convinced by the UA staff to let their kids move into dorm rooms, some of which needed more convincing than others, but all of them did ultimately wind up moving into dorms. They head out to UA to move into their new dorm rooms and basically just get set up. But although the Principal Nezu actually does comment to himself that there is an ulterior reason why he built the dorm rooms, and that's because he suspects that the leaker might have been one of the students, but he hopes to God he's wrong. So, yeah, he suspects that one of the students might have leaked the information about the training camp. So he built the dorm rooms to kind of make sure they're all in one place so that he can make sure that they're able to find out if any of the students actually did leak the information. Because it should be noted, the villains wouldn't have had access to that information if somebody hadn't leaked it, which means somebody had to have leaked it, and it was either a member of the staff or one of the students. So he's sequestered everybody in the school so that they could find out who it was. And at which point Class 1A actually arrives at their dorm room, and Aizawa actually does point out that they're going to be doing the provisional license exam at some point, but because they had to reschedule it because it was supposed to be during the training camp, but then the villain thing happened, so they hadn't been able to do it. And also, he scolds most of Class 1A, specifically the group that went to save Bakugo, but also all but 3 apparently knew about it and didn't say anything. So he scolds them all and tells them all that they need to behave themselves, or he would put in the notice to have them all expelled. Which is about what everybody expected, because they kind of said something and didn't, because everybody kind of knew, for the most part, except for 3, but didn't say anything. So, yeah, Aizawa's not entirely happy about that, and then he tells them to get ready to move into their dorms, and with that much of a downer on their mood, it's actually Bakugo who comes up with an idea to cheer them all up, and actually drags Kaminari behind the bush, has him discharge himself, and sends out his dum-dum mode to cheer everybody up. And also, he reimburses Kirishima for the night vision goggles that he bought before heading off into his dorm room to sleep, and then we never see him again for the rest of the episode. At which point, the girls actually have a brilliant idea to kind of judge everybody's rooms and figure out who has the coolest. And with the exception of Bakugo, because as I said, he's asleep, and Asui, who we'll get into later, they actually go and judge each and every one of the rooms, including the girls at Minetta's behest, although he has ulterior reasons for doing so. But they eventually go through all the rooms, and they reward Sato's room for being the best, mainly because he had cake. That's mainly the reason why he won. He had cake, and the girls loved it. So, at which point Uraraka asks the group that went to go save Bakugo to come outside, and they go to meet with Sue, who points out that she's kind of at a loss for words because she believed what she said had stopped the group from actually going to save Bakugo, but then she found out this morning that wasn't the case, and that made her very upset, and she realized that she just didn't want to be around anybody because she felt like she kind of was useless and didn't contribute to anything, and that when she tried and failed to convince the other students not to go save Bakugo, she kind of just went into a funk and kind of felt useless and actually started crying. And the group kind of consoles her, pointing out that they'll never try to make her sad again, and also they make a vow to try and make everything back to the way it was, even if it might be a little bit harder. But yeah, this episode was interesting. So for the most part, it was just about them moving into dorms, but it also had a bit of ramifications from a previous episode where Deku and some of the other kids went to go rescue Bakugo, and Sue, having said something that she hoped would have deterred them, actually feeling kind of crappy because it didn't work. So this episode just kind of shows what the dorms look like, and also that Asui is having a bit of a hard time dealing with the whole they went off to save Bakugo thing. So yeah, this was an interesting episode. It wasn't very lore heavy. It wasn't very lore heavy or story heavy. It was just supposed to be this, hey, this is supposed to be a lighthearted episode, but there is some stuff mixed in that isn't exactly lighthearted. So yeah, this episode was basically meant to break up the whole heavy tone that the series has had for a bit, to try and make everything feel a little more lighthearted, but then it kind of just goes back into like the more heavy stuff toward the end. So overall, that's what this episode did, and it does its job well. It kind of does break up the whole monotony of it a little bit, but then goes right back into the plot. So yeah, this episode overall that's basically what it is, and that's all it had to do. But anyway, yeah, if you guys have seen this episode of My Hero Academia, then what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, if you want to help support the show, then be sure to check out my Patreon. It's only a couple bucks a month, and it helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of perks that are basically my way of saying thanks for supporting me. So be sure to check those out, see what kind of perks you want, and be sure to pay me money accordingly so that you can help me fund future projects. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!